Hey guys, this is Jabroni, and today I want to give you a video on the Yeti Witch attack. And I'm going to be quite honest with you. I was hesitant to make this video because this is a very spammy attack, and my fear is that if I encourage my clanmates to practice a spammy attack, then it could theoretically actually make them a worse attacker. And by that I mean there aren't a lot of steps to this attack. There isn't a lot of planning to this attack. And so if you practice something that's too easy, then you might lose your ability to do attacks that take more planning or more skill, such as, the Queen Charge Miners Hogs hybrid attack, or, a Queen Charge Hog Rider attack, or something of that nature. So that was my fear of giving a video to even give any credit to this type of attack. But when something works on many different types of bases, I'm going to be foolish if I don't give credit to something that can actually work. And let's be honest, when you're making some attacks in Legends League, especially if it's the first attack in the morning, when you're still waking up, your coffee's still coming into your system, sometimes you need an easy attack because you can't think, as well as you normally would if you're, early in the morning or whatever. This is a great attack for that situation. I'm being 100% honest with you, because as you can see, there aren't even really many troops here. I mean, you got 9 or 10 Yetis. You have about 8 witches. You might throw in maybe some wall breakers or wizards. You got your heroes. You got quad quakes, maybe, and then a jump spell. I've seen some people use 2 jump spells, and then you can have an extra rage or heal spell. And then I normally bring a heal spell in my clan castle, and then a siege barracks with hogs, and the heal spell is normally used with the hogs. And this attack can work on certain types of bases, and it definitely does not work on other types of bases. And I want to kind of break down what bases I've had it work for and what bases it does not work for. Let's start with bases it does not work well on. Bases that have this big dead space around a town hall. This is a certain type of ring base genre where there's a dead space around the town hall. The Mass Yeti Witch attack does not work well on these attacks because it's hard to get your troops with this style to go into the middle. It's kind of luck dependent then. You're hoping your queen or your barb king will redirect towards the town hall when you have this dead space mode around it. So that kind of base does not work. I think this one I was luckily able to get like a 65% 2-star. Here's another one. Now, this base could maybe work if you brought wall breakers from like 3 o'clock and then more wall breakers from, say, like 6 o'clock to punch in to get your initial group of Yeti and Witches into those 2 corners. Then bring like a jump spell and then quad quakes here to force your troops in the middle. Then maybe this style of base could work, even though you have those dead spaces there. If you can use wall breakers to funnel into these corners first, then I think this could work. But with Legends League, you're just bringing whatever armor you made. And so I didn't have wall breakers, and so I was not successful in getting a 3-star on this base. Here's another kind. You might recognize this as one of Itsu's many different bases that he's created. And whenever Itsu creates these bases that have like these island compartments, like 3 island compartments, and then a tricky situation down here at the bottom at 6 o'clock to try to funnel your troops to that town hall, I find that to be a tricky type of base. It was not very good for the Mass Yeti Witch attack. And here's just one more example. This is kind of a like 180 mirror version of what I've seen Clash with Eric show on his YouTube channel. Again, you can see there's this dead space around the town hall. Those kind of bases, it's very tricky with the Mass Yeti Witch attack to force your troops to get to that town hall. So those kind of bases, I definitely would not recommend using this attack style. Having said that, I do want to show you some bases where I was able to make this attack work. And the first one I want to show you is this base here where the clan castle is at the very top and you have the town hall directly underneath. And then it's kind of this like teaser, northern teaser, anti-3-star style of base. And this one, there's so many different types of northern teaser and, you know, anti-3-star type of bases. I like to start naming them for my clanmates so that way we can, you know, call them out in war and stuff like that. So this one, it looks like a bat to me. I mean, do you see it? So I call this the bat base. All right. The northern teaser anti-3-star bat base. And the way that I got this to work, I started by using a poison spell immediately over the clan castle up here, because as soon as you put any troops near that clan castle, you're not only going to get the clan castle troops, but notice the Archer Queen and the Barb King, they're all there. So I started with the poison, and then I brought my Barb King and my Queen in that location. From there, I used 2 Yeti and 2 Witches somewhere around here, and then another 2 Yeti and 2 Witches likewise somewhere around here. And my goal was to take down these buildings here and here to try to create a funnel then for the rest of my troops to come straight towards, you know, the town hall and then eventually the eagle. Because to make this attack work, and here's the common denominator, you need to be able to get the town hall and the eagle and the 2 scatter shots down relatively early. And I'll be honest with you, that's the same goal in a lot of attack styles, also especially the Mass Yeti or the Yeti P.E.K.K.A. smash attack. So I find this attack to be kind of similar to the Yeti P.E.K.K.A. smash attack. The bases that work well with that style can also work well with the Yeti and Witch attack style. So if you can create a funnel, like I was talking about, taking out these structures in blue to force your troops to the town hall, and then I used quad quakes to open up this section here. I did not start with the quad quakes because I didn't want to activate the town hall early. So there are some times I will start with the quad quakes when there's no danger of activating the town hall early. But in this case, there was the danger. So I used the quad quakes after I got down most of my troops. And then I think I used, if I remember correctly, a jump spell at this location. And that then allowed the rest of my troops to continue working their way throughout the rest of the base. Now, they do start to split off at this point. The Siege Barracks, which I deployed up here at 12 o'clock, then had Hog Riders that eventually, I think the way that it just luckily worked out is they went this way. And so as soon as you see the Hog Riders coming out, you want to bring your Royal Champion to follow behind them. And then that's when you're going to use your heal spell wherever you need to use it to keep those Hog Riders alive as long as they possibly can. And that's pretty much how this attack works. Let me go ahead and show it to you. All right, so as I mentioned earlier, poison spell I put down right away. You'll see there was also a skeleton spell there, so that worked out well. I brought troops, let me pause it real quick, over here at around, what is this, between 1 and 2 o'clock, and then likewise over here between 10 and 11 o'clock to try to take out the mortars and at least one of those storages, either the elixir storage or the gold storage over here, to try to create a funnel to force my main group of troops towards the town hall, the scatter shots, and the eagle. You can see I used a rage spell early to get through the town hall, and I also will use my warden's ability here eventually to keep my troops alive through that town hall. You'll see I brought the quad quakes to open it up, and then my second rage spell is used to get through these other expos and the eagle artillery. At this point, there isn't much more to keep track of. I mean, you have a jump spell to use, and then you're kind of waiting for that siege barracks to open up with the Hog Riders coming out. Once I see that, I bring my Royal Champion with the Hog Riders, and I use my heal spell wherever I need to use it. Since there's wizard towers here, I didn't want them to kill a large group of hogs too quickly, so I used a heal spell at that location. And then from the rest, from here, I'm going to be honest with you, it's pretty much luck. I use my one wizard over here for cleanup behind the hogs. Sometimes I forget to use that wizard for cleanup. That's the best case scenario, is to use that wizard for cleanup. And then you're just kind of hoping that your heroes and whatever troops stayed alive can clean up the rest. I will tell you, even if you only have a few troops left over at the end, since this attack gets deployed very quickly, I don't find time to be a major issue in my limited experience with this attack. I'm no pro, guys. I'm just a casual player who likes to be competitive in wars. So I'm not saying that I know the ins and outs of this attack, but my limited experience with this, after using it for 2 or 3 days, is that cleanup does not normally seem to be an issue. I don't think I've ever time failed. I have failed because all my troops die, but I haven't failed because of time. So you'll see here, even though I only have like a wizard and maybe, I think my P.E.K.K.A. survived somehow from the Siege Barracks and my Royal Champion, it worked. And I was able to take down the Bat base with the Northern Teaser, the Clan Castle, and the Town Hall up at the north. All right, let's take a look at another attack using this. And I want to show you again the common steps that are used with this style of attack. So I'm always looking to see where can I get the best bang for my buck from the quad quakes. And I noticed if I take out these walls here between the Clan Castle and the Eagle Artillery, I can get access to the Inferno compartment here, to the Scattershot compartment up there, obviously the Eagle, and then hopefully my Yeti Mites can jump out and get the Scattershot over here. Obviously you want to take the Town Hall down. That's always important with any attack, but especially in Legends League and CWL. You don't want to be too risky with the attack style you use. But in order to force your troops to the middle, you always have to create a funnel. And so, unlike what I've seen from some other YouTubers with this attack, I like to start by creating my funnel in the corners. So I want my main group of troops to work, in this case, towards the Town Hall and Eagle, to come from between 7 and 8 o'clock. So I'm going to start with 2 Yeti and 2 Witches at around 9 o'clock over here, and then another 2 Yeti and Witches from around 6 o'clock. Then I deploy the rest of the Yetis and the remaining 4 Witches in between. I also bring my heroes in between, and, well, not the Royal Champion yet, but the rest of my heroes, my Queen, my King, my Grand Warden, and then the Siege Barracks you saw was used. I use a rage spell fairly early on to get through, the Clan Castle and the Town Hall. I'm kind of waiting a little bit here on my Grand Warden's ability. At this point, I'm going to use it to try to get through that Town Hall and through the Clan Castle, and the one Scattershot is starting to shoot. Actually, both Scattershots were shooting my troops down at that point. My other rage spell was used here to get through those Scattershots and the Eagle. And then you'll see I brought my Royal Champion behind the Hogs, just like you saw in the other attack. Use the heal spell, try to keep those Hog Riders alive. This attack was a little unique because a lot of my troops grouped together over here towards the left of the base. And so at this point, they start to wrap around. And eventually, again, I'm not going to lie, this attack is a little bit, actually very, more than just a little bit, luck dependent. If you can keep your Queen and your Royal Champion and some Hog Riders alive for quite some time, and then maybe a Witch or 2, in this case my Barb King stayed alive, then it can work. I mean, you'll see the defenses are now down, so it's just a matter of cleanup. And since, like I said earlier, the deployment of the troops is pretty quick on this attack. It's not like the hybrid attack where your Queen charge goes for a long period of time, and so you might time fail. This attack, I have not experienced time fails. And so this is another type of base where I was able to make this attack work. All right, one more, and you'll see this style of base is very similar to the previous style, where you can use quad quakes a little bit between where the Town Hall, Clan Castle, Eagle Artillery is. And you'll notice again, kind of like with a Yeti Smash attack, if you can get the Town Hall down early and then the scatter shots and the Eagle down relatively early, that's the kind of base where this attack is going to work. As long as there isn't like a big dead space around the Town Hall, then I found this attack to be, pretty successful. So once again, just like I told you on the last 2 attacks, you need to create your funnel. I want my troops to get towards this town hall, to come between 10 and 11 o'clock. You'll notice I did use my quad quakes early. I was not trying to activate that town hall, but I accidentally got it here with the corner of my quakes. That was not ideal. I don't recommend doing that if you can avoid it. Once again, I'm starting my funnel. I'm going to put 2 Yetis and 2 Witches over here at 9 o'clock, and then I'm going to bring another 2 Yetis and 2 Witches over here at 12 o'clock. Then I deploy the rest of my Yetis in between and the remaining Witches in between, and then eventually Barb King, Queen, Grand Warden. Maybe I was a little slow, my Grand Warden here. Yep, I must have forgotten the Grand Warden, guys. Don't forget the Grand... There he is. Jump spell to get to the town hall. Rage spell will be used here. Again, this is the same steps like every single time. This does not take a lot of planning. Grand Warden's ability to help you get through the scatter shots and the town hall. And again, another rage spell will be used here in the middle to get through the other scatter shot and the eagle and the infernos. I think the reason this attack works so well is because so many defenses are distracted. The witches are making skeletons, distracting defenses, and the Yeti mites are popping out of the backpacks of the Yetis, and so that's distracting stuff. I think that's why this attack can work. Again, I'm waiting to use my heal spell here for the Hogs. Royal Champion came behind, and then you're just kind of hoping on luck here, guys. You're just hoping it's going to work. I don't tend to have a lot of troops remaining at the end. You'll see this time my Barb King and Queen both died, but my Royal Champion and a bunch of Hog Riders stayed alive. And so that, along with some skeletons and 1 wizard and the Grand Warden, was enough to get the job done for cleanup. Guys, this doesn't take a lot of planning. Please be wise with where you use this attack, especially if you're going to use it in war. You saw what bases I showed you at the beginning of the video that do not work well, and then you've seen 3 examples of where I was able to make it work. Don't be shocked if this doesn't always work. It is very luck dependent. But if you don't have a lot of time to plan attack and you're a ground attack kind of guy, then this is a style of attack that might work for you on certain styles of bases. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you next time.